My dad's main job here on the farm is to make sure that everything is in order, that these apples get picked here and these apples get picked here, and when they get picked, and making sure everything stays in a line, in order.
Most of the trees in this orchard are 12 years old, and then over to the north there we got some younger ones that we've been planting over the last couple of years. Well, naturally, years ago they used to plant them 30 by 30 or sometimes farther than that, but now with the dwarfing rootstocks we can plant them closer together. They're more efficient that way, and we get better production early. And they're easier to maintain, it's easier to harvest, it's easier to trim them.
There's definitely some science and there's definitely some math involved, and there's definitely some chemistry involved.
The rootstock is the bottom section, of course, the one that's in the ground with all the roots on, and then on top of that is where they bud the variety that you want. Dwarfing is the size of the trees. The roots aren't as big themselves, they don't cover the area, and the tree cannot support itself, so then you can start getting wires and trellises and stakes to hold it up. And then we're able to start growing an apple 2-3 years out after planting it, rather than waiting 5-10 years to get good yields on it.
My dad has to pay attention to what's going to happen, like if there's a good chance of rain, then he has to tailor his picking plans to that, so then he can kind of get the idea of when he's going to get done and make sure he gets done.
You kind of monitor, your leaves and the time of the season, and the traps will tell you what kind of moths are flying and when they're flying and how many are flying, and then you apply the spray based on that, so you're only spraying when you absolutely have to.
I think the hardest part of my dad's job would probably be making sure that all the apples get picked on certain days, because the rain, you don't know when weather is going to happen. It sometimes just happens and you can kind of guess it, but not the best.
Well, that's the hardest thing about farming. You really have no control about your weather. You live with it. The springtime, you have the frost, and the frost fan will blow the cold air off, and then the warmer air replaces it, and you can actually save your crop. Spring also is when the main scab season is, so then you monitor when you have rain, the temperature, when it does rain, how long the trees are actually wet, and that will tell you if you have an infection period or not.
My dad has to prune trees during the winter, which is another thing. During the spray season, my dad will work maybe from 7 to 10 at night. It can be pretty long.
Yeah, I don't think in general people are aware of agricultural. They're quite far removed. They go to the grocery store and get it 12 months out of the year, and we harvest it, 6 weeks out of the year. Yeah, I don't think people really are aware of what happens on a farm nowadays.
I really like it out here, and the thing that's really special about it is sometimes when I get to come up here, it's just a nice relaxing place to be. And you get to be out in the apple trees, and I like to ride my bike around here. It's really nice.